Hello, I'm Kevin Zettel, a technical marketing engineer here at Infoblox, and today I'm here to talk to you about Infoblox's new role-based access control for its Blocks One platform. Before jumping into the user interface, let me try to explain this a little bit using a graphic that I created. Here you'll need to know four things for the RBAC: users, roles, user groups, and access policies. First, the users is the easiest to understand as it's anyone and everyone that uses the platform. In this case, we have Bob, Jane, Mark, and Luke. For roles, we have DDI admin, TD admin for threat defense, and TD plus DDI admin. Roles are used to give permissions to users. However, you can't directly apply them to the user themselves. Now do note that there are more roles than this, but here I'm using only 3 roles to simplify the explanation here. First, we need to create a user group and assign the users, in this case Bob, Jane, Mark, and Luke, to the user groups. Now with the user groups created, you can start to apply access policies to the user groups based on the roles. Now in this example, Bob needs access to threat defense, however won't be using Blocks 1 DDI, and Jane and Mark, on the other hand, need access to Blocks 1 DDI only. Whereas Luke will have to have access to both Blocks 1 threat defense and Blocks 1 DDI. Here, we assign Bob, who needs access to threat defense, to the TD group, DD for threat defense. Then, we assign Jane and Mark, who are needing access to DDI, to the DDI group. Finally, we can insert Luke to the DDI TD group, as he needs access to everything. Now in the TD access policy, we should assign the TD group to the TD admin role. Next, we can assign the DDI group to the DDI admin role. Finally, we can assign the TD DDI group to the TD DDI admin role. And after all that, we're finished. All the users are automatically added to the correct resources that they're needing, and if a new user was to come into play, we would simply need to assign them to the correct group, and they would automatically have access to the resources that they need. Now, if that confuses you, please feel free to stop it here and rewind and watch it again. However, I'm going to explain all this again using the user interface now. So let's look at the user interface. Now here in the interface, we simply go to Administration User Access. Now if you can't see this, it's because you don't have ability to read or write to the account management, which we will see more details about in a second. Once inside the User Access tab, we can see that we start in the Users tab, where we can add users to the CSB portal. Here, you would simply need to add an email and a name for the user, then optionally assign the user to their assigned user group. You don't have to do this right now, as the user will automatically be assigned to a user group until we've changed it later. Now notice that I have a user with the name Demo Example. We will use this account to see some changes when logging in as a user with complete read access only, rather than an admin at the end. As for roles, this is what gives users access to different parts of the portal. For example, I said just a few seconds ago, you won't be able to see the User Access tab unless you have a read-write access to the account management. And here on the right, you can see that the role for Access Control Administrator is one of the roles that gives you that access. And of course, we can see that other roles give you different privileges. Moving on to user groups now. Here, we can create or edit user groups to assign the user to different groups. And on the right here, you can see that the users are assigned to those different groups. Now also notice that I have the user demo example inside all the user groups with access to all the user roles. Now finally onto the access policy, which connects our user groups to the roles that they're going to be assigned to. Here, we can either create a new access policy from scratch or use the ones that we've already been assigned and modify them to the appropriate access. Modifying them comes in handy when you accidentally give incorrect access to the users. And of course, on the right, we can quickly see which user groups are assigned to which roles. Now if you're needing more in-depth details as to what roles do what and needing more help, Infoblox provides you documentation to help answer most of the questions you may have in order to manage your role-based access control. Now let's log in as the demo example user that we were talking about earlier. Now inside, you'll see everything as a user looks almost identical to an admin account. And in fact, when we click to create an IP space, it will let us. However, the difference comes when we try to save the information. As a user, we will get a request forbidden and not authorized. Now don't worry if you don't see this exact message, as it may change in the future. Another difference is that we are not even allowed to see some of the tabs under the Administration tab, such as the User Access, License Entitlements, Tags, and much more. Well, thank you for your time. If you have any other questions or concerns, you can find me or any of our other experts on the Infoblox community website. Thank you for your time and have a great rest of your day.